This is a steal for the Toronto Blue Jays as trade reports continue to escalate following what has been an incredible stretch of games for the Toronto Blue Jays. A new report has dropped revealing a big Jays trade update surrounding one particular player. We're going to break down exactly who that is, discuss what it means going forward, as well as break down some other trade updates from other sources, as well as some big updates ahead of this afternoon's game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Jays attempt to win yet another series, but also they already won the series to sweep the series, folks. Ton to go over today, ton to get into. But before we get it all, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, you guys have been absolute beasts with the support, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. And thank you guys again for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a very interesting one because some new reports have dropped surrounding the Toronto Blue Jays. And let's dive right into it. It is from Mark Feinsand. He recently dropped an article revealing some interesting players, who is on the market, who is available, and who's interested in who. You can see here prime MLB trade candidates with the best fit. And the Jays will link to a few people, including the number one option here, Freddy Peralta from the Brewers. He is a starter. Like the Rays, the Brewers have a history of dealing players to get closer to free agency. Though trading Peralta would be a bold move given the Milwaukee Brewers sit only 1.5 games out of a wild card spot. There is some rumblings about him being on the move. They have, of course, he has an $8 million club option. He's very affordable. Peralta would surely draw interest from teams looking to get controllable pitching. The fits are the Jays, the Braves, the Orioles, and the Yankees. Folks, Freddy Peralta is the perfect fit. And I've been speaking about it on the channel. I've mentioned him briefly and in passing, but you think back to what Keegan Matheson said on my video there a couple weeks ago about what kind of acquisitions, and I asked him, what acquisitions would you get if you were the Toronto Blue Jays? What do you expect from them? He said a José Berríos type deal. And this fits that mold, pretty perfectly in the sense of he is not super expensive. He's not super elite either, but he is an extremely good starter, a lot better than, some of the guys that we've been touching on, here. We're going to dive into some other, players, of course, later on in the video, like a reliever as well. So stay tuned for that. But ladies and gentlemen, Freddy Peralta is the real deal. He is the real deal. Now, if you're unfamiliar with him, again, he plays for the Brewers, so probably not a lot of, I'm not sure how many of you guys actually, watch Brewers games, but you can see this here. Fans really want Freddy Peralta, and there's a specific reason for that. He is just as solid as it comes. You see this here from Rob Wong. Peralta is the guy, but the price tag is going to be very uncomfortable. Looking at his stats here, this season he's been elite. 2.6 ERA. Throughout his career over the past few years, you're hovering between 3.5 and 4, very similar to José Berríos. And he's almost similar to José Berríos in, fastball velo, things like that. But boy, oh boy, would he be a perfect fit. Now, again, we'll look at the control in a minute, as it pertains to the contract. But he would fit this team perfectly. Now, there's some rumblings, Max Scherzer probably going to return this weekend against the White Sox. There's some rumblings there, and he had a great start against the Buffalo Bisons yesterday, dominant. So I think that he's going to be on the brink of a return. Alek Manoah in August, all those different things. But folks, the Jays have positioned themselves to where the fan base deserves, and the team itself deserves, the Jays to go all in and buy, and this would be an all-in move. He is going to be expensive. He's going to be one of the best, if not the best, starting pitcher available on the market, 160 innings plus in back-to-back years. He is absolutely dominating, and he's dominant this year. You add him to the Toronto Blue Jays, you have a top four of Gausman, Bassett, Berríos, Freddy Peralta, then Max Scherzer, Alek Manoah. Man, oh man, is this team elite. Also, adding a bat to that, they need to add another bat. I don't care, what everyone says. Someone's going to cool off eventually. Add another surefire power bat. This is the time where you have the luxury to do that. And Freddy Peralta, adding him in would be electric for this team. They've also been linked to a couple of other guys. But, guys like Eric Lauer, who randomly have shined and been a fantastic, addition to this team. They're still going to get their runs and they're still going to get their reps, but getting a surefire starting pitcher that helps you win more games, especially Manoah is still a couple months away. Scherzer, who knows how healthy and how much he will actually bring. And if he comes out to be that deadline acquisition, sure, that's obviously best case scenario, but they need to be proactive here. And of course, they're going to get a bunch of guys back. Dalton Varsho, Anthony Santander, Jimmy Garcia, Nick Sandlin. They are adding a ton of players back very, very soon. And hopefully you can get some things out of those guys. But regardless of that, this team is playing so well. They have put themselves in a prime position to really, convince the Blue Jays front office that, we deserve to go all in. It's been a very long time since the Toronto Blue Jays have played this good baseball. You can think back to, depending on where you really think about it, you can think back to years, right? And you can see this here. The players have earned the right to be the beneficiary of a buy at the deadline. Adding could be the exact rocket fuel they need. They are in a very favorable spot right now. The Yankees are kind of, free falling. The Rays, I mean, the Orioles were up 8-1 against the Rays yesterday. I ended up losing that game. But regardless of that, the Jays were 8 games back of the Yankees less than a month ago. Just to put things into perspective. Now they're 2 games back heading into today's game. Things are lining up perfectly for this team. You play the White Sox after this, and then, of course, heading into the All-Star break, you have a few tougher matchups. Go all in, get a guy like Freddy Peralta, and let me know down below, do you think Freddy Peralta would be a good addition? He is elite if you haven't watched his film or anything like that. He's very, very good, and he would be good for years to come as well if you get an extension done. But again, he has $8 million salary this year and a club option for 2026, so he's guaranteed under contract next year, and then, of course, you could extend him like they did José Berríos. So it would cost a lot. Probably, again, I'm keep thinking about a headliner of a Relvis Martinez. He would probably have to go. I think you can keep Arjun Amala and Trey Savage, but it would be very uncomfortable. You'd have to give up a lot of your prospects. Maybe they would be asking for an Arjun Amala, Trey Savage type. I think if you're the Jays, you keep both those guys. You finally have a good farm system and a good enough farm system, that is, to be able to kind of sustain some of these bad, runs we've had with prospects. But ladies and gentlemen, it would be an electric move. I'm all in on Freddy Peralta. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. But also, we have to discuss Kyle Finnegan. Now, this was also a part of the article. Now, Finnegan's a bit of an interesting one. Of course, he's not as coveted as a guy like Freddy Peralta. Like, Freddy Peralta is a perfect fit. And again, it would cost a lot. Let me know down below, what's the max you'd give up for him? Would you give up one of Trey Savage or Arjun Amala? I don't think I would. But again, he's a very good, consistent starter whose price tag is going to be uncomfortable, but has another year of control. So I don't think you do it, but if the Jays think they can win this year, maybe they go out and do that. For Kyle Finnegan, he's very good. Late inning relievers are always in demand. Do the Jays really need another late inning reliever? I think you probably, you always do. He's a right-handed pitcher, and I think depending on how his bullpen shapes up, they might go out and add a guy. And this seems like a Blue Jays type player. He does not, doesn't go crazy fast, 96 miles per hour. He's just a very solid reliever and someone that would help, add. Think about all the years of the Jays went deep. 2015, 2016, they added relievers both trade deadlines. 2015, they added a bunch of different guys. Mark Lowe, it was an electric time for the Mariners. But regardless of Troy Hawkins, they're going to need to add a reliever in general. They're just going to do it. It's always what happens. But at the same time, they cost a lot less. So let me know down below your thoughts are on this new report from both of these guys. Again, Edward Cabrera was also in there. We'll have another video of him coming out soon. But the Jays are going to be heavily involved, especially as reports start to come out about the Jays being all in. They've been going all in for a while. They are playing unbelievable baseball. Can they sustain it? I truly believe they can. You have Barger being electric. Guys like Eric Lauer stepping up, a 2.29 ERA over 35 and a third innings. Eric Lauer's been elite. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Addison Barger, unbelievable. You started him against a lefty yesterday, and he just comes up and is electric. They have some work to do. Still, I still think you need to add one more bat to this team to be World Series caliber. But man, oh man, to be just 2 games back of the AL East, folks, in June. This is what dreams are made of. And we're here, and we're going to keep you up to date every step of the way. Folks, you guys have been beasts with the support. Hopefully the Jays can take care of business with the sweep today, heading into the White Sox. Vibes are high. The Jays are going to make a move soon. Cheers.